Well, I have some interesting, unique information regarding health, I guess. It's regarding a new, well, it wasn't thought of as an STD, a sexually transmitted disease before, but actually it is an STD now. They're finding out it's actually Lyme disease. It's from a new study, and the study was produced or referenced in the Journal of Investigative Medicine in 2014. And basically they're stating that, yes, the common perception is that you get Lyme disease from a tick bite that enters your blood. But they've also found that there's a lot more new cases of Lyme disease coming on that are being diagnosed, and they're kind of wondering where they're coming from, because it doesn't seem to be all from tick bites, and it looks like it can be sexually transmitted for sure. Yeah, and when they did this study, they showed this. Now, to give you a reference point, with Lyme disease, there's 300,000 new cases diagnosed each year in the United States, and it's almost twice as common as breast cancer. Lyme disease is almost twice as common as breast cancer, and 6 times more common than HIV/AIDS. So it's actually, quite a prevalent disease that's taking off, far more than the tick bite. Well, it's not a theory, but transmission of getting the disease. So what they did was they tested various control groups, and they used married heterosexual couples engaged in unprotected sex, who one of them was tested positive for the disease, and it found out that later on 100% of the women later on were tested positive for the Lyme disease, and about 50% of the males. So it was actually transmitted through unprotected sex, Lyme disease. And this disease can actually really put you out more than a lot of stuff, because of, well, it can actually make you so tired and knock down your mental processes and everything else, and really knock you out for a loop for many years. And sometimes it's very tough to diagnose, because sometimes doctors will think you might have some kind of anemia or whatever the heck you have, or something else. They might diagnose it as something else, because a lot of times it's not super prevalent, but it's coming on very strong, and it's coming on in the population stronger than expected. And it's probably because it looks very likely that it's probably a far more common transmission method through sex than it is through mosquito bites. It's actually, I don't know what the statistics would be for in the cities, where maybe major cities where there's not many mosquitoes and things like that, but it's probably, since it's actually coming on much stronger than, you're talking about, you always see the billboards about breast cancer and things like that. Well, Lyme disease actually is twice as common as breast cancer, and you used to see a lot about HIV/AIDS, and it's 6 times more common than HIV/AIDS. So, how many people are actually even tested for Lyme disease? Probably virtually none, and they probably don't realize they have Lyme disease until maybe, I don't know, maybe years later. But in the meantime, who knows? So it tells you something. And actually, it's been a lot of theories that Lyme disease was actually developed in the biological warfare labs of the military, and that it escaped somehow and got into the deer, and then the deer were infected, and then the mosquitoes bit the deer, and then they bit the humans, and it went into the human population. But now that it's in the human population and it's spreading faster, it's it's unknown up till now, I guess up to this video, and it's actually from the it was referenced in the Journal of Investigative Medicine and presented at the Western Regional Meeting of the American Federation for Medical Research in Carmel, California on January 25th, 2014. So anyway, it's not one of those rumors things. It looks legit, and the studies they did showed a very high transmission rate, especially from the male to the woman, versus the woman to the male. But even so, from the woman to the male, it was about a 50% transmission rate with unprotected sex. So it's probably one of those things that's going to get out in the population unexpectedly, because I'm not sure how long it takes for the disease to progress. You know, even in the case of HIV, there could be like people that probably are extremely healthy feeling for 5 or more years, and maybe even 10 years, and then all of a sudden it, you know, it takes its toll, because, you know, that's probably the same deal with a lot of these. I think they're probably originated, you know, I'll go along with that, because I know some people are very heavy into the conspiracy theories, and there's probably some truth to them. You know, they probably originated in laboratories versus in nature. And how they got out is anybody's conjecture. But how they're being spread is mainly through sex. And, you know, nobody actually is even knowing if the person has, nobody's even checking for Lyme disease, even because, you know, I've seen a lot on where actually there's a woman on YouTube that got rid of Lyme disease using extreme amounts of ozone therapy, O3 therapy, extreme amounts of it. And she stated she had it for 20 years, and all these doctors misdiagnosed it for all that time and didn't even know she had it. And then when she found out she got it, she had it. And what the problem was, she went on to extreme ozone therapy to get rid of it, and she says it worked. It worked for her anyway, in her case. But, you know, I just have to state that it's something people are totally unaware of. And who knows? Who knows? It's a now been determined to be a sexually transmitted disease. And the fact that it's actually coming on stronger and stronger in the population in general, probably, you know, it's not too far of a stretch of the imagination to think that the Lyme disease is actually being spread through the population more through sex than it is through mosquitoes. So there you go. Just something I just want to put out here, because it's actually all brand new information. They're showing, they proved it can be transmitted through sex very easily, and it's word information I got, I just told you, is from very responsible sources. So you know, it's not some fear mongering. It seems to be something that you should be well aware of.